What's up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. Diving straight in, this video is going to be teaching you how to start selling on Amazon in 2025, whether that be FBA, whether that be FBM, understanding what those mean, how to ship items, how to list items, all that stuff we're going to be diving into. So let's jump right in. First off, you need to register for an account. I will drop that link down below, but you can just Google register for an Amazon selling account as well, and that will bring you to the same page. In order to complete this registration, you're going to need a bank account number or bank routing number, chargeable credit card, government issued national ID, tax information, and phone number. Pretty much a lot of the same stuff you'll need to sell on any platform. And then you'll need to choose between the two selling plans. So you have the individual selling plan and the professional selling plan. It's important to note with the selling plans, this is not related in any way to fees. You're already going to pay fees on everything, and it's going to be like 15 to 20%. I will talk about that a little later. This is a completely different thing. So first off, you've got the individual selling plan where you are going to pay 99 cents per item sold versus the professional selling plan where you pay a flat $40 monthly subscription for the month. So I would recommend starting on the individual selling plan until you're selling over 40 items per month, and then it makes more sense to go with the professional plan. Whichever one you choose though, don't worry about making the wrong choice. You can upgrade or downgrade at any time. It's also important to note with the individual selling plan that you have to charge shipping. That's just how it is right now. You can only do free shipping with the professional plan, and you can also only get the buy box right now with the professional selling plan. However, I started with the individual selling plan and I kind of just went after items that didn't have a lot of competition, so it didn't really matter. I'm going to talk about the buy box in a little bit as well if you're not sure what that is, but you're only going to really run into trouble with that if you have a lot of competition. I would still recommend starting on individual while you're learning before upgrading to professional. Next, Amazon is going to want to confirm. They didn't used to do this, but over the last year or so, they've been doing face-to-face interviews with people. Nothing special that you have to prepare for. They usually just want to call you and see that you are who you say you are with all the paperwork and everything that you've sent in. Next, your fulfillment options, FBM versus FBA. Let's start with FBM. That's fulfilled by merchant. Basically, this is just like eBay or any other selling platform. You are storing the items, you are shipping the items just like you would do on eBay. You're just doing it on Amazon. And again, you're printing the labels yourself. Very easy to do from Seller Central when you just go into create shipping label and make your own label up. Next, you've got FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. With FBA, Amazon stores and ships your products out. Amazon has more than 175 fulfillment centers around the world. With FBA, you get to store your stuff on those shelves. Amazon will also take care of all of your returns, messaging the customers and everything, whereas FBM, you are responsible for pretty much manually doing all that. But again, it does come with a lot of extra costs, and they're starting to phase out smaller sellers from FBA, so definitely start with FBM. The fees are just getting ridiculous in FBA, and they're losing shipments left and right when people are sending them in and making them wait a long time before they get their money back or not refunding them for the full amount. So personally, I wouldn't mess with it. Maybe if you don't have a ton of storage or time to be able to ship all this stuff out, it might be a good option for you to at least look into. But I would personally stick with FBM if it was me. So now that you're good to go, how much does it cost to sell on Amazon? On top of those selling plan fees, there's a few other fees that you need to make sure that you're accounting for to make sure that you're actually factoring these in to the items you're buying to make sure you're making a profit. So just to recap, you have the professional selling plan, $39 a month. You've got the individual selling plan, $99 per sale. On top of that, you've got your selling fees, which are charged per item sold and include referral fees. These are typically a standard 15% flat in most categories. Some categories may be different, but most every category I've sold in is 15%. And also, you're going to need to factor in FBA fees if you're doing FBA. And next, you have your shipping. So obviously, you're going to have to take your shipping out. So that is a cost against your business. So if you're doing FBM, fulfilled by merchant, you're shipping your own items. You can do this directly on Amazon when you sell an item. It's super easy. You just click print shipping label and you get to use Amazon's discounted shipping rates that they have with UPS and USPS. put the weight, the dimensions in, and you're good to go. I have an entire FBM shipping for beginners video. I'll link that above, where I go step by step in this. This is just a very basic video where I'm trying to go over as much as I possibly can and not waste too much of your time. As for shipping with FBA, you're going to have to ship everything to the FBA warehouse and again, pay those fees for storage and shipping on that part. So next, now that you know your costs, you're going to need to be familiar with the Amazon Seller Central. This is basically where you're going to get everything done on the app, on desktop. Honestly, the app is not very good for as big a company as Amazon has. It's gotten a little better over the last year, but it's still not great. Most of the stuff you're going to want to do on desktop because it's just better. So think of Seller Central as your go-to resource for selling on Amazon, everything you need. It's a portal to your Amazon business and a one-stop shop for managing your store, adding product information, making inventory updates, managing payments, managing A to Z claims, and just anything that can help you navigate your Amazon business. It's also the place where you list and ship all of your products from. All right, one of the biggest things that trips a lot of new Amazon sellers up, ungated versus gated products. Unlike eBay, Mercari, any of those other platforms, you can't just willy-nilly sell any item that you want to on Amazon. It's just as it sounds. If an item is ungated, it means that you can sell it. It will allow you to list that item. If it is gated, it is going to show up as locked and it is not going to let you sell that product. However, there is a way to ungate in those gated categories. I've made an entire video on how to ungate on Amazon and almost any brand, but I will briefly mention it in this video. All you have to do is obtain an invoice of 10 or more items in that brand that you're trying to ungate in that specific product. If you can find a specific SKU and they need to exactly match, find a reputable seller that's selling it. Target works for most everything and Target sells most every brand. So ordering it online, it has to be an invoice. It cannot be a receipt. A lot of people ask, can I just go to Walmart and buy 10 of something and upload that receipt? No, it has to be an invoice. You go to that exact item, you click Ungate, you upload the documents, a picture of the inventory, and sometimes it may take a couple times to go through, but usually it will work. And again, Target, Kohl's, those are just some of the stores that I use. And in that video, I go further in depth on the entire process, but it's really not as daunting as it seems. At first, they may not ungate you because you're a brand new account, even if you do everything right. So you do need to make some sales. And also, it's important to note that over time, actually, Amazon will start just ungating categories for you. So once you ungate a couple categories, once you start making some sales, you'll be amazed at how much stuff becomes unlocked for you. Next, listing an item on Amazon. You may think this is very daunting. Not at all. Easiest platform ever to list on. eBay can take 4 or 5 minutes minimum to list something on. Amazon can take like 4 to 5 seconds. I'm not even joking. I'm going to be showing an example. But basically, you are not creating a listing on Amazon. You are strictly just going off of other listings that have already been created. Especially if you're just starting an Amazon account now, you're probably never going to be able to create listings from scratch. They really only let the aged accounts do that. And honestly, a lot of them, it's becoming difficult to create listings as well. So when you're just starting out, just sell on things that are already on there. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to do an example right now. We've got this little bluey right here that I'm going to be listing. I saved one of these. I sold a ton of these during Christmas. Saved one just for this video. Also, don't hate on the sales. I literally just use Amazon during like Q4. I am mainly an eBay guy, but dip the toes into Amazon and really just trying to help others learn how to use Amazon as well. All right, so basically to list a product, it's very simple. You can either just choose this in the top corner, that little camera icon, or you can click the listing in the middle right there, add a product, and you can manually type it in right there. Because this has a barcode on it, I'm going to just scan it. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to click that little scan that sucker in, and it's not going to come up. So this will happen, and that's when you have to use the manual. We're going to try to scan the picture of it and see if anything comes up from that. Okay, so it does work with pictures and UPCs. Again, sometimes you have to scan it a couple times and it may not come up, so I'm glad that happened. But that is it. Let's see what would happen if I just typed it in manually. Bluey Christmas 3.5. Should be the same thing that comes up. Yeah, so it's right there, and you can see down here, this one is gated because it says requires approval. But I'm already ungated in Gemmy, so this one does not. So all I'm going to do is click sell right there. I'm going to click I will ship this item myself because that's merchant fulfilled. You can see up above that it says fulfilled by Amazon. I just have one of these. The price, sorry, you can go back and look at the prices here. So I can see what everyone's offering. I did that really fast, but you just click on the item and then you click on the prices here. And you can see the prime ones are people selling FBA and the other ones are people selling FBM. Lowest price is $51.96 used. The next new is $54. So again, we're going to go into here and go list. Ship the item myself. One. We're going to go 54. We're going to match that lowest FBM listing and also new. You click your condition type, and you can even put your own custom SKU in up here if you store your stuff a certain way. And then you would just click ready to submit. I don't want to list this because I want to sell it on eBay because they're going for just as much and it's less fees. So I'm not going to actually list that, but I just wanted to show an example. It is super easy to list on Amazon, especially after you've done it a few times. One other thing I really meant to mention on here is you can check what your profit's going to be. You can click on this gross proceeds thing. And you can type in all of your costs. You can type in what you paid for it. It'll show you what Amazon fees will be. It'll show you what fulfillment fees will be on like FBA, cost of purchase, and then it will let you know what your net margins are when you put all that in. So I really just wanted to make sure I added this in the video because this is a very useful tool when you're calculating profit margins. Another thing people ask is, what is the Amazon buy box? Why is everyone going for it? Very simple. It's literally just that buy now button on Amazon. FBA sellers are going to get priority to this. Also, it's important to note that just because you have the lowest price doesn't mean you're going to get the buy box. Amazon is going to rotate this. Next, one of the biggest things in determining a winning product are product rankings, also called sales rank. You can view this directly in the Amazon app. As you saw in that bluey, it had a pretty good sales rank. It is going to depend category by category on which is good or not. Typically, it's a good sales rank if it's in the top 3 to 5%, but again, it's complete category basis. I'll put this chart up on the screen, and that should be able to help you determine what a good percentage is based on the category that it's in. Really, the only way to know how many are actually selling per month is by paying for one of these subscriptions from like Keepa or SellerAmp, and they are able to tell you how many of that product are actually selling each month. If you don't pay for these, then you have to go by the product ranking and try to determine what percentage it's in and see if it's selling through well or not. Next, something you can't get around with Amazon, returns. Really, the only way to avoid these is by trying to sell in low return categories, which typically is anything without a size. If you're selling clothing or shoes, you're typically going to get a lot of returns. So just sell around a few different things, experiment with it, see what's selling well for you, see what's coming back, avoid those categories. But typically, I'm just avoiding anything with a size, and I don't really have that big of an issue with returns unless I'm selling something with a size. Lastly, I just want to mention performance metrics because this is something that can affect your account health and get your account shut down. So it's important to make sure that you keep these up. You want to make sure that your order defect rate is less than 1%. That's basically people just saying that the item is damaged, defective, different things like that. A bunch of different things go into those. It really comes down to you listing and making sure that you're listing items and sending them in the same condition. Next is your pre-fulfillment cancel rate. You'll want to keep less than 2.5%. That just means have the items in stock that you're listing and selling and try not to cancel as much as you possibly can. And lastly, late shipment rate, you want to have under 4%. In your shipping template that I was talking about earlier, you can also set your handling days. Make sure you're setting handling days to an amount that you can achieve. I do it every 2 days, so I ship Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I have 2 business days on. If you have every business day on and you're not able to ship every day, then you're going to get a lot of late shipments and it can put your account at risk. So just set that to an amount that you are able to achieve. And you can keep track on all of these in Seller Central. So that pretty much does it. I hope this was able to help you get started selling on Amazon. Again, again, I have some more further in-depth videos on my channel. Make sure to check those out if you're interested. If you're interested in my reselling group, Bread and Butter, for daily in-store and online eBay and Amazon leads, check that out. First link in the description. There's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.